So there I was, sailing along in ketosis, feeling great, doing well, losing weight, everything was going real fine, and then I thought I could make a good thing better. And I started playing around with the amount of protein that I was eating. I figured, hey, I'm going to the gym, why not get more protein in? That's going to be great for holding onto the muscle while I'm in a slight calorie restriction on a keto diet. So I started increasing the protein. I ate more fish, specifically tuna, just canned tuna, tin tuna, and also had more protein powder. Well, I typically don't have any protein powder on a keto diet, but I started including it after a workout or maybe a little bit during a workout. And a few days after that, initially I didn't put two and two together to really see the causality of having extra protein on how it ultimately made me feel. But within maybe 2 or 3 days, perhaps half a week after increasing the amount of protein, I started getting these mad carb cravings really badly. And I mean, any amount of carb craving is bad. It's not fun. If you're on a keto diet and you've got carb cravings, it's hard to stay on that keto diet. And for me, at the time, I just didn't know what was going on. I didn't realize that extra protein was ultimately causing that. And I'll explain why that is in just a moment. But it got to the point where, because I didn't understand why I felt that way, I thought this was just how ketosis went. I was about a month in, and I figured maybe a month in, this is just how you feel. Maybe your brain starts to want carbs again. And ultimately, it caused me to drop off the keto diet. Now, I'm not a machine. I don't have an iron will like some of you guys out there. I'm human, like probably obviously the majority of you, but we're probably very similar, is what I'm trying to say, in that if I feel really crap on a diet, I'm not going to stick with it. So I ended up dropping off the diet, not really understanding why I was getting those carb cravings and not putting two and two together. And it wasn't until second time round when I tried increasing the protein intake. Typically what I would have is 75% of my calories coming from fats and 25% of my calories coming from protein. But I actually increased it to be about 50% of my calories coming from protein and about 50% coming from fat. And overall, I've probably been in and out of ketosis about 20 to 25 times, just testing what works for me, how to get into ketosis the quickest, how to make myself feel the best when I'm in ketosis and get the most out of it. Just a whole lot of trial and error experimentation. And the second time I went through ketosis where I increased protein, it hit me again, those carb cravings. And then I started to go, okay, well now I've got some consistent causality of having increased protein and having these carb cravings. What on earth is going on? As it turns out, did more research, tried to figure it out, because I don't want to keep falling off the diet from carb cravings. It's not going to help anything. The diet that works best for you is the one you can stick to the longest, right? So after a bit of research, I realized that our body has a process called gluconeogenesis, which is where your body converts protein and amino acids through a technical sciencey process called gluconeogenesis into glucose. Why does it do that? Because even in ketosis, your body does require just a little bit of glucose to maintain the function of certain small parts of your brain, and I believe certain aspects of your blood, and perhaps also a little part of your nervous system as well. So your body does require just a little bit of glucose just to keep you alive and functioning properly. And it does this through a process called gluconeogenesis. So when I increase the amount of protein I had in my diet above the 25% generally accepted amount as of 25% coming from protein calories, increase that to about 50%, that gluconeogenesis started to really crank up in my system. Now, some of you out there may be able to get to the high levels of protein like that and not have this problem. Everyone's going to be a little bit different and unique in this sense. But for all intents and purposes, I would say that you guys will probably be fairly similar to me and may experience the same thing. And this accelerated gluconeogenesis just caused a lot more glucose to be essentially made and created in my own body, which gave me a little bit of an insulin spike or an insulin push and pushed that glucose into my brain. And my brain starts to think, hey, we're coming out of ketosis, we're getting carbs again. My body is going, no, you're going to stay well in ketosis because I'm not giving it carbs in the diet. So you've got no carbs coming in the diet, your brain thinking that you're back onto carbs, and so it starts giving you these carb cravings, and that's just hell to go through. honestly, guys, avoid the carb cravings. If you're anything like me, it will be a cause for you to fall off the keto diet. Like I said, I'm not a machine. I don't have an iron will to keep pushing through these things. I've got to manipulate the diet and my lifestyle to make sure, just with little tricks, just to make sure that I can stay on it on the long term so that I can get the results that I want. And ultimately, that's what I did, and I've been very successful with the keto diet. So what I would recommend for you guys is, if you haven't been on a keto diet before, or if you're struggling with this sort of thing, keep yourself on 75% of your calories from fats and 25% of your calories coming from protein, and then just marginally increase it and move those around. Shift it from maybe 25% of your calories coming from protein, increase it to maybe 40. You don't have to go to 50 or 60. You can do it incrementally and just see how you feel and test it out that way, because ultimately, if you go too far in any direction with anything, if you have calories way too low, if your protein's way too high on a keto diet, or alternatively your fat's too low on a keto diet, and if you go to extremes on those things, you're going to really run into troubles like I did unknowingly, unwittingly, by increasing the protein on the keto diet and having the whole gluconeogenesis and carb craving issue. So guys, let me know if you've had any experience with increasing the protein like that on your own keto diet. I'm really interested to hear what your experience was, if you found that it went really well for you, or if you couldn't hack it and didn't like it and it was a bit too extreme. Please let us all know in the comment section below. And if you got any benefit and entertainment from this video, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.